The Dominator 3 is one of only two tornado intercept vehicles that actively chase storms. Built to withstand huge wind loads and flying debris, it is a 12,000-pound beast. Recently, I chased with Reed Timmer and his crew as we intercepted these dangerous twisters. But how does the Dominator 3 in Twisted stand up to its real-life counterpart? Today, we're gonna find out. First off, before we can get to the storms, we gotta fill up. And that's not cheap. In Twisted, fuel prices vary, just like real life. But with a 35-gallon diesel tank, you are looking at between $135 and $150 per fill up. And just like in Twisted, it takes a while to top off a tank of that size. So don't get caught in town needing to fuel up right before a tornado drops. Another accurate detail Twisted nails is the Dominator's fuel economy. At just over 16 miles per gallon, you won't have to make too many stops to fill up. But remembering to top off here and there is always a good habit, especially if suddenly your fuel gauge stops working.
Dude, your mirror is toast.
It is?
Your mirror is toast,
I can
bro.
bend it back out.
I got it for you.
Yeah, see? No problem, bro.
Recently, after an intercept, it's theorized we had a pressure drop so powerful within the core of the vortex, it disrupted the gauge. This resulted in having to guess how much fuel was left inside the tank. Now that we're fueled up, we can hit the road. And this is where the Dominator comes in handy. In Twisted, it's almost over 100 times faster than the TIV 2, and this is because of the vehicle's weight. Unlike the TIV 2's 14,000-pound, fully steel armored design, the Dominator 3 comes with a 12,000-pound total. This gives the vehicle an extra boost in times of need, especially when racing to get to the tornado, which is Reed's preferred method of chasing. Stay right under the mezzo, and when it drops a twister, swoop in and collect the intercept.
We're on a tornado-warned storm, and we've got a wall cloud here just north of our east-west road. And we're waiting to see that tight tornadic spin on it. So far, it just looks sound structurally, but hasn't developed that tight low-level rotation just yet.
Now, having chased with both TIV and Dom in reality, I can say for certain that Dominator 3 does accelerate much quicker than the Tornado Intercept vehicle, as it does in-game. Now, things do go wrong with the Dominator from time to time. Considering it's a customized armored vehicle designed to be thrown into tornadoes, and Twisted represents this, requiring regular maintenance on your vehicle to keep it up in tip-top shape. However, as I discussed in a previous video, comparing both TIV and Dominator in real life to Twisted, these issues usually happen suddenly, rather than gradually. For example, a door will get jammed, or a window stops working. So this feature could be a cool addition to have in the future.
We're gonna open the door.
Since we are getting close to the storm, let's prepare the science systems. On board the vehicle, there's a small mesonet that collects wind speed, pressure, and humidity. This is accurately reflected on the in-game model. There is also a rocket launcher that still remains, but has been removed as of 2026 in real life. But you can't fault the developers for this one, as the latest version of the vehicle in the game is still from 2025. Overall, the attention to detail on this one stands out, and we are about ready for the crucial tornado intercept. We are now right in the path of a tornado, and it's time to drop down. Just like in real life, we can release the air from the airbags, raise the Lexan window protection, and drop the spikes. All of this in a very accurate time frame. However, beyond this point, things start to get a little more complicated, at least in making comparisons from a video game to real life. Tornadoes themselves are a very complicated science, with hundreds of tiny factors involved. Not to mention, the Dominator 3 has a very complex shape, designed to create downforce. It's impossible to know exactly what will happen in any given intercept. However, we are starting to get a better idea of what Dominator can and cannot handle. In Twisted, the vehicle is rated for winds up to 155 and 210 miles per hour. In reality, the vehicle's top recorded winds were 135, measured back in 2025 when a subvortex struck the vehicle near Huntsville, Alabama. Only one issue: the winds were likely stronger, but couldn't be recorded. The reason? The anemometer was set to record data at 1 time a second, too slow to read the higher winds. It's theorized that in a small localized pocket around the vehicle, 200-mile-an-hour winds were achieved, sending the tank sliding. The current theorized estimate is between 150 to 160-mile-an-hour winds to really get the Dominator sliding. And that all depends on the orientation of the vehicle in the wind. But until it can be proven, it remains a theory. In Twisted, the same thing can be achieved by simply driving into a tornado that's a little too strong for the threshold. But what I found is there's a lot less sliding after a certain point and more lofting. Not to mention, in all of these cases where the Dominator has slid in real life, it's rotated, not just slid left to right. So overall, how accurate is the Dominator 3 in Twisted? Honestly, it gets a little more right than you would expect for a video game. The fuel system, acceleration, science equipment, and intercept features are all surprisingly close to the real vehicle. Where the game starts to separate from reality is the actual tornado interaction. In real life, there are so many variables: road surface, wind angle, subvortices, debris, pressure drops, whether the vehicle is perfectly positioned. Twisted simplifies that into a wind threshold, which makes sense for gameplay, but real tornado intercepts are way more unpredictable. So my final rating for Dominator 3 in Twisted is a solid 8 out of 10 for realism. So there it is, my final in-depth review of Dominator 3 in Twisted, now that I've actually experienced it in real life, of course. So with that, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you all next time, guys. Goodbye.